A blowout for a breakthrough. The long-suffering fans of the New York Knickerbockers can cheer their place in the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in a quarter century. The celebrities out in full force. No acting required on this night. There is genuine joy at Madison Square Garden because the Knicks are back in the NBA's Final Four. Welcome to Playoff Central Live, presented by State Farm. Former Knick Channing Frye, Dennis Scott. I'm Matt Weiner. Good to have you with us. You know that city. I mean, we've all been there a bunch. We've all been in that building. We know the passion. It's one of the NBA's oldest franchises. They've been waiting a long time for this night.
A long time. And I have said this since even when I was in the league and not playing on the Knicks. When the Knicks are good, it's great for basketball. Mm-hmm. You felt the electricity in Madison Square Garden. When Lenny comes out, you know you're going to get a dub. When the 7 buttons and the chest hair, the taco meter's out, you know you're getting a dub.
I don't remember seeing him at a lot of Knicks games.
Nah, listen, he lives in a third world country, and he took his jet over here. That means you're getting a win. But no, I just think the way the Knicks did it and where they are now, it just showcases their belief in their guys, the type of culture they are, and the people that they put in on that team are Knicks players. I think you look at adding Karl-Anthony Towns, you go get a Josh Hart, you go pay top dollar for OG Anunoby, you get a Tibbs, and you believe in him and you stick with him. Bridges.
Yeah.
To me, they've done the process correctly. They've stuck with it. And congratulations to that team. The way they played today, it's going to be hard to figure out who's going to win this next series because the way they played today, going through Karl-Anthony Towns, OG being good, solid, Mikal Bridges, defense, their attention to detail. It was just an all-around get up out of here game. Boston, good try, but get up out of here.
It was funny. We spent a lot of time in the pregame talking about the changes the Knicks would need to make to win this game, to finally close this thing out. In the first 5 minutes, it was apparent there was a different level of focus and energy for New York. And Boston just could not hit a three early in this game, and the hole just kept getting bigger and bigger.
Matt, when you look at the stat sheet, you know, Boston still got up for their 41 threes. They're still going to play their game. So once again, Shannon, they go cold at the wrong time. So you're just watching. It's just like, these are the same shots they got in games 1 and 2. They didn't miss them. They lost. Games 3 and 4, they made shots. They win. You come back for game 6 on the road. Derrick White was on fire last game getting these same shots. So I hate saying it, Matt, but we say it every time we sit here, Shannon, miss and make league, really?
I just think this. In the playoffs,
Sometimes.
you tell me this.
You know what I mean? It's like, come on.
Yeah, you look at your team when you go on that plane, and you're looking like, man, we just gave everything we had just to get here.
Right.
That little bit of doubt, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they had made those shots, this game would have been different.
Correct.
Right? And like you just said, make or miss. When you're playing a wounded dog, you know, you're going to go for that killer bite. And they were shooting threes, and we were like, ugh.
Right.
Why are they trying to – they're trying to win the game in the first quarter.
Right.
And the Knicks said, hold on now. We're going to take advantage of you on all levels, on the block, getting to the free throw line, and then defensively, you look at they only took 10 free throws. That means you
weren't dry. You weren't like we're in game 5. You were drawing and kicking. You were getting you were talking about Jaylen Brown getting 2 feet in the paint and then spraying out for the 3, where everything was just around the perimeter tonight, man.
Yeah. And I think we said it watching from where we were watching, and I think Richard Jefferson said it early in the broadcast. The shot quality for the Celtics, it wasn't just that they were taking threes. They always take a lot of threes. They weren't getting great threes early in this game.
No, it was again, you're trying to win the game in the first quarter, and I thought they were like, we need a boost of confidence. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Basketball, and I tell my son this, and all my kids, basketball is the most subconscious game ever. If you don't believe that Jason Tatum is their closer. He is the most talented guy on the team. When you're missing that, you need a big lead, especially when you're used to getting big leads. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to skip steps. You're supposed to establish yourself in the paint, but if you can't get in the paint, you're exhausted. You got to take the first thing that comes.
Right.
You're hungry. Instead of waiting for a steak, you eating hamburgers.
Matt and Shannon, for our viewers, Tibbs needs to go to the training staff and give them a raise to get this team turned. Think about it, they're only 5 deep. Like when you look at their bench, like McBride plays a little bit.
6.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so, like even with Mitchell, it's like nobody comes off that bench right away and puts a serious impact on the game. It's the starting 5. So it's amazing how in 48 hours they looked ready to play. Look at Brunson's number. Look at Mikal Bridges' numbers.
Yeah.
That backcourt for the Knicks was solid tonight after being beat up, and Brunson fouled out the last game, guys.
He was plus 30 tonight.
Come on.
And by the way, serious question. What did the two of you make of the fact that Knicks starters were playing with 5
Tibbs
minutes
is crazy.
left to go
Tibbs is
in a
flat out
game
crazy. You're crazy,
where
Tibbs.
the final margin was 38.
We love and hate you in the same breath for doing it to the Knicks starting five. It's crazy.
Well, it borders on, frankly, irresponsible because you're looking at a potential injury. What if somebody gets hurt and has to miss the Eastern Conference Finals?
Such a great point. If something would have happened to Bridges or Brunson, one of your guys in the backcourt, they're not ready for games 1 and 2, yes, New York Knicks fans would want to hang Thibodeau because they shouldn't have been in the game. You're up by 34 with 9 minutes, the whole fourth quarter.
What's the upside at that point?
Listen,
somebody pointed out to me with probably 6 minutes to go, they could literally dribble out each possession and win the game by 20 probably.
Yeah.
Why do you need starters out there at that point?
I asked early in the year why, to give your guys a break. But I'm looking at these minutes other than OG, right? But I'm looking 32, 34, 29, 34. I'm thinking I'm not even mad at that, right? I thought they had played more. Yes, there is a irresponsibility at times for us watching. He has his system, right? And I question it. People question it.
Always.
He's always going to play this way. And if he wins, then they're going to say, well, maybe we need to play like that. But he hasn't won yet. So what we're going to say is they're in the Eastern Conference Finals, and they have not been there in a while. So I'm going to sit back and say this is uncommon, but it works for the Knicks. It works for them this year. So stick with it. And I'm gonna digress.
Oof. Really, the only other team still playing that plays a rotation, anything like that, is Denver, and that seems more out of necessity rather than preference, right?
Yes.
He just doesn't seem to trust his bench very much.
Correct.
Speaking of Tom Thibodeau, he is back in the Eastern Conference Finals.
What's your stubborn self?
Tom, was that the 48 minutes you were searching for from your group?
Yeah, I thought start to finish was terrific. And also, want to congratulate the Celtics on a terrific season. Unfortunate injury to Jason Tatum, but they're a terrific organization, ownership, front office, coaching staff. Joe Mazzulla is a terrific coach, great players, first-class organization. Hats off to them for the season they had and defending their championship.
Coach, congratulations on getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. Would you say tonight's performance was the best in the postseason?
Probably, and we knew we would have to play 48 minutes against them. They're terrific on both sides of the ball. They play their style no matter what. And so they're not going to hand you anything. You have to earn it, and I felt that we did that.
Tom, it seemed from the start, and then even when the league got to 30, you guys were beating the loose balls and stuff. The urgency you had talked about, was that kind of on display there all game long?
Yeah, and again, it's how you respond to the challenge that's in front of you. And so, and we can't get carried away. Obviously, it's a great win, and we advance, and, you look at that, but you also understand you have to get ready for the next series. And we know that Indiana's a terrific team, and we're going to have to be ready.
Tom, you guys obviously, through the first few games of the series, dug a bunch of holes that you had to fight back from. Today, you guys jump out to a huge lead. Just was there a difference in approach? Did you sense that the team was going to come out?
You got to win games different ways. So every game's different. Then there's really no carryover from one game to the next, other than you have to be ready to win that game that particular night and understand, what you need to do in order to do that. And I think when you understand that part of it and you understand how important your preparation is, that gives yourself the best chance to win. So you learn from each game and you try to move it forward.
Tom, Mitch had a bunch of strong defensive possessions in that game. He had one in the first half where transition closes out on Drew Holiday. Holiday ends up kicking to Brown in the corner. He takes away another three from Brown and then ends up getting the steal. What's going through your mind when you watch a guy with that length just be able to take away that many shots in a row?
He's very athletic. He anticipates well. But I thought overall our team commitment and defensive transition, guys were covering for each other. They were communicating really well, and they understood what we had to take away in order to win. And it doesn't really matter whether you're talking about defensive transition or you're talking about pick and roll defense. It has to be clean, and it has to be concise, and it has to be tied together. And so when you do that, particularly against a team that's as well versed as they are and with their ability to shoot and spread you out, you have to be very disciplined. And so I thought we were tonight.
Hey, Tom, Josh Hart, triple-double. What did you make of the way he impacted this game?
Yeah, and that's who he is. It's like he impacts the game a lot of different ways. That sometimes people get stuck on, well, he didn't shoot the ball or he didn't do this. Well, Josh, what he is a basketball player. So it's transition, it's the pace, it's playing out of the pocket, it's making corner threes, it's doing all those dribble handoff, hustle plays, offensive rebounds, and then defensively just being everywhere and then coming up with big rebounds. And I think when you play with that kind of effort, it's inspiring to the team.
We talked a lot about how the next step is kind of getting to the conference after the second round, getting to that conference finals. How satisfactory is it to get there now?
Well, and I think the way you have to look at it is whatever your ceiling is, or that's what you're striving for, and you're trying to go past whatever the expectations are for you. And if everyone commits to that, the challenge is to bring the best out of everybody. And so the goal is always to win a championship. And so we've got 8 wins, you need 16, right? And each one gets harder and harder. So you got to keep fighting, and you got to understand how important that is.
Tom, any early thoughts on Indiana and the problems that they pose and how they play and just the matchup in general?
And again, style of play, and they're excellent basketball team, strong on both sides of the ball, their ability to push the ball, so defensive transition. But when you look at their guard play, particularly with Halliburton, Nembhard, and McConnell, they can push and they can break you down off the dribble. So you got to be very disciplined in your approach. They can spread you out. Siakam and Turner are very talented bigs. So we understand what the challenge is.
Coach, you talked about.
Guys, play nice.
There were some different moments during the game. Can you go back to that second quarter when you guys went on that long run, the end of the first quarter going into the second quarter? What did you see that the team really executed there?
Well, I think, there's always going to be a lot of runs in every game. And I think when you're playing a team that shoots the volume threes that they do, there's a variance in the game. There could be swings that very, very quickly both ways. And so you have to understand, the discipline that you need. And then I felt like we were able to get stops, which got us into the open floor. And then we got some easy baskets, and that fueled our offense. And so I think being strong on both sides of the ball and then making good rim reads, making good decisions when we got in there, I thought that was important as well.
Cat seemed to come out with a different mindset tonight, offensively and defensively. What did you see in him tonight?
Yeah, I thought that helped set the tone for the game. I thought super aggressive to start off the game, got established, in the paint, and then the rebounding, and his pick and roll defense was outstanding. So I think that, we have to play off that, but it gives us another threat. I thought we had a really balanced attack. I thought OG and McHale were phenomenal. Right, and with the defensive pressure that they were applying.
Coach, coming into the playoffs, there's a lot of talk about Cleveland and Boston, who are ahead of you coming out of the East. Not only have you advanced, but you're now the home team. How much is that going to help in the next round?
Well, I think the important thing is to understand what goes into winning, and it starts with your preparation. So I think understanding we have to know Indiana extremely well. and then just concentrate on being ready for that first game. You have in the playoffs, you have to earn your wins. They're not going to be given to you because you're home or you're road. You have to earn them with your play. And so I think that's the most important thing is understanding what goes into your preparation.
This defensive strategy that you generally had throughout the series, especially like switching more on ball screens than you had throughout the regular season, when did you know you were going to do that against the Celtics? Like when you're playing them in the regular season, are you thinking about doing that in the playoffs?
You're getting more and more information, and then there's bigs that you go into the season with a plan for switching. Like you're going to switch in certain situations, and there were guys we weren't switching with. But then you also have to read the ball in the game. So sometimes maybe you're not in a particular switching group, but there's penetration and there's a problem. So that you have to recognize there's a problem. You got to take care of the ball, right? So that would put you into a switching situation. And so there's a lot that you do. You have to be good at your coverages. You have to be good at switching. You have to be good at blitzing. And then you have to be good at finishing your defense, because anytime you put two on the ball, or the other thing is when you're switching and you got a big on a small, you're going to be vulnerable to being out rebounded unless you make the commitment to get back to bodies. And so there's a lot of discipline that goes into it.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Yep, thank you.
Tom Thibodeau there. Joe Mazzulla's Celtics end their run as defending champs.
Yeah, good question. I mean, I think you have to have there's a perspective. At the end of the day, we set a goal out. We didn't achieve that goal, but shouldn't take away, from me, from the mindset and the effort that the players put in. So, we have a responsibility and ownership. We didn't do it, but the approach, the process to it, you can't ask for any more from the guys. So I thought they gave it everything they had throughout the season. Obviously we didn't achieve that, but you can't take away from what they did. And, this is the price you pay for trying to go after something, and that's how it goes. But really just thankful to the guys, for who they are as people and what they've done as players, what they've done as a team.
So now that you're on the other side of it, just what was the emotional toll of this series, the way it went with giving up big leads at home, and then obviously we got punched midway through. What's the emotion kind of going through?
There wasn't really, it wasn't really much emotion there. It was that's just the way it goes. I mean, you can't have an expectation that a series is supposed to go a certain way. Obviously losing a player to that type of injury was tough, but that's part of it. And, you move on as a team, and that's it.
Joe, you've talked a lot about champions not being able to get out of the second round. You guys were, cruising along, 60-win season. You got through that first round. It was tough, but you got through it pretty quickly. What is it about the second round that all of a sudden everything seems to just change? Almost, let's see, you look like a different team, but a lot of things change.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that's what we'll spend the summer looking through is the differences that would have that. But that's obviously a psychological hurdle over the last, 7-8 years now. And so spent time studying that this offseason. Just wasn't able to get through that hurdle.
Similar to that, Joe, what stood out about the challenge this year when you look back on the lane? What is kind of that early felt like that thing?
You didn't think we couldn't get over it till this round, and so that's obviously something we came into the season having an understanding. I think it's 5, 6, or 7. It might have been 5 or 6 now, 7 of the champs from the last year haven't made it, and so you work to put in parameters, psychological, mental toughness parameters, things, you talk about it. But, at the end of the day, there's just as many teams wanting to win. And so, you got to execute, you got to do all those things. And to me, it's not about, our guys, they did everything they could. You got to tip your hats off to the Knicks. They played a great series. They've been great all year. Tibbs is a great coach. So you got to tip your hat off to them.
Right to win a championship.
Yeah.
Plays, momentum things this season. Did you feel like there was anything different about this year's team from last year's team, or was it more just kind of those moments, those winning moments you had last year? You weren't able to do that in these playoffs?
Yeah, that's a good one. I didn't see anything different. I saw something better. I mean, I saw throughout the season our guys had the right mindset and the right process towards going after it. You obviously it's not going to go the way you want it to every year. I like the way we ended it. You just ran into a great team in the second round. And they got the best of us. But like I said, to me, it's more about the mindset and the process that the guys had throughout the season. I thought they gave it everything they had. I thought they really went after it, trying to achieve something that's obviously extremely difficult. I thought they went after that, and when you go after something, this is the price you pay.
Darren. So did you see it all with the team? Did you see, this team before you got here at being in the conference finals? This core has done a lot, but it just seemed like tonight was the night that the gas tank went out. Did you see that? Not even tonight, but just throughout this series, did you see as much as you didn't want to maybe admit, okay, like we don't have that we had?
No, I did not. I did not see that fatigue. Obviously, I saw that tonight a little bit, but I didn't see that throughout the season. I didn't see that throughout the series. No.
Joe, just in your view, what caused tonight's game to play out so much different from the first time?
I mean, you got to tip your hat off to the Knicks. I mean, they outplayed us. They played better. I'm happy for Tibbs. He's been coaching for a long time. To me, that's the biggest thing is you pay your dues, you put forth everything. That guy's a lifer, man. He's everything a coach is all about, and he deserves it. So I think it's more about that, and they deserve it as a team, and you got to tip your hat off to them.
Joe, for years up until last season, this team had such a penchant for getting big leads and had trouble holding on to them. That's part of the match level of the game. But these first two games in the series, you guys blew those big leads. What was the accomplishment, I guess, of building a team, maybe up until the series, that was able to build big leads and hold on to them? And then what was so difficult about it in this series?
I thought that just the Knicks made huge momentum plays in those things to take advantage of that and keep them and be able to bring themselves back into the games. And, all those things that you talk about, end of quarters, start of quarters, momentum plays of offensive rebounds, they made all those plays. And, those are the things that regardless of if you work on them 1 day, 2 days, 2 years, 3 years, there's stuff that you got to retool every single day. And those are the habits that, impact games. As you saw, they can impact games, they can impact a series. So those habits you have to commit to like every single day, all the time, every year.
Final for you, Adam D. Rocker. He's at the line. This is the price you pay for going after that. Feeling the weight of being well.
No, I mean, if you're going to be in the arena and you're going to first of all, if you're going to be coaching for a long time, you're going to have a lot more probably heartbreaks than you are joyful moments. I think if you look at the perspective, and that's just how it goes. And so when you step into the arena and you go after something, that's how it goes. So it has nothing about do the weight of it or anything. It's just, most coaches, the ratio of heartbreak to success at the end of the year, you probably have more of those. If you're going to be in it for a long time, you can't expect it to go the way that you can't expect it to go your way. You can't expect it to go the way you want it all the time. That's just part of it, and you have to be able to accept those both of those things. And that's the arena.
Obviously, naturally appreciate this for making you guys had a special opportunity this year, right? Both guys back. How will you just reflect on what this group over the last year, what you guys are able to do that just happened together?
Yeah, like I said, I told the guys in the locker room, one of the honors of my life would be able to coach this group of guys. So you go down the list, every one of these guys is a champion, a warrior, and they've done a lot of great things in this league. And it's an honor to be able to share a locker room with them and be next to them on the court and be in the arena with them. So I'm grateful for that. And to me, it just shows who they are as people and who they are as players. But that's really what it's all about is those guys. They came in, we had a legit shot at it. And, they gave everything they had to try to go, but we ran into a better team.
Obviously, Jason looking at a long rehab. Does it hurt more knowing that by the time he comes back, things could be changed, the roster could be changed? This realistically might have been the last chance for this group as a team. And then moving forward, how you guys have to respond to that, and what weight will the rest of you guys have to carry that deal?
I haven't really thought 1 second of that. More just focused on the guys in that locker room right now, and grateful for the the effort and what they put through on that, and that's really all that matters.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks.
Back with more on Playoff Central Live. The New York Knicks have ended the conference finals drought. They'll take on Indiana next. More press conference coverage on the way. Game 6 at Madison Square Garden. Jaylen Brown had a lot to do with forcing it for Boston. Jalen Brunson and the Knicks, a very different looking basketball team in Game 6. The defense to start the offense. Mikal Bridges relocates, drifts away. Clyde loves it. It's a great color for Clyde.
Yeah, it is. Mr. Puma himself.
Brown, really, the only thing happening for Boston offensively was Jaylen Brown in the first half.
Yeah, and it just was not enough. He was trying to carry him up the mountain, and the Sherpa twisted an ankle.
Did not have Sherpa on my bingo card tonight. I'm in favor.
Mikal Bridges did, though.
Bridges had 22. Karl Anthony Towns hitting everything aggressively.
There you go, Matt. Not selling for the jump shot, getting to the rim, no shot blocking. And we had a feeling the OG would show up tonight.
Oh, yeah. He wasn't going to go 1 for 12 tonight.
7 of 18 this time. He knocked down 4 threes. You get the idea. Brunson with the reverse. There's the defense, the chase down block. Josh Hart and one on the other end. Hart with 10, 11, and 11. And the Knicks are already up by 20. When they went up by, I think it was 13. Yeah, 13. That was their biggest lead of the series, and it would grow.
Yeah, they were just running on all cylinders, man. I mean, every time that they went on a run, the Celtics did not have enough firepower for them.
The lead was 27 at the half, and it would expand in the second. Here's Brunson for 3 over the top of Jaylen Brown. OG Anunoby to Cat, bullying Al Horford.
This is what movies are made of.
Cat had 21 and 12.
There's an OG in the house.
Anunoby with 23. Getting the idea. Celebrity Row was packed
tonight. All the celebrities.
Can you imagine if they get back to the NBA Finals?
Oh, that place is going to be bananas.
Listen, ticket prices.
Do they have enough room for celebrities? They have different tiers of celebrities.
Yeah, there you go.
You got to be like an A-list celebrity to get front row tickets.
There's levels too. You got to be an A+.
Yeah.
There you go.
119-81, largest margin of victory in Knicks postseason history. And even with that, for the series, they wind up an aggregate +3.
Oh, wow.
But it was good enough to send them to the Eastern Conference Finals. Here's Jalen Brunson afterward.
Jalen, when you look up at that scoreboard and see that score, just as you get goosed by your teammates, just what do you think?
I don't know, but that's a good team. And we just found a way to make a lot of plays, play with the lead and keep it.
You left no doubt tonight, but what did you love the most about the way you closed out this series?
Just the way we kept our composure. Game 5, they got the best of us. And the way we responded, and we just found a way to keep making plays on the defensive side, and the offense was rolling.
Yeah, what were you guys doing collectively, just as a group, to make, like you said, a good team, the defending champs, just look so average?
Yeah, well, they're not average, let's say that, but the way we were just flying around, making plays for each other, having each other's back, that's what's most important.
I know you always keep it right here. You keep it even. But, when you feel this love that you're getting, you see these fans going crazy. Tell me you're feeling something. What are you feeling?
This is great. The fact that we haven't been here since my dad played or was on the team, he's not gonna like that. But it means a lot for this organization and this city.
The Pacers are waiting. They're coming to town next. The rematch of last year's semis. Just what will be the key to changing how that one ended?
You're going to have a lot of composure, a lot of fight. They're a good team as well. And we have a long way to go.
Second inside Madison Square Garden. The defending champs run is over. Here's Derrick White.
Obviously, you win a championship, and you got that target on your back from day one. And obviously, there's ups and downs through every season, and this part sucks. And just wasn't able to complete the goal that we set out at the beginning.
Derrick, when a season ends like this, and goes out to have a comeback, you accomplish critical season, seize point, injury, anything like that. Like, how do you process a moment like this while also moving forward but knowing that not the next game?
It sucks. We're never gonna get this season back. Never gonna have the exact same team again. So obviously there was some highs and obviously some lows of a season, and but at the moment it just, you're just kind of down.
You think about, like you just mentioned, that you're not going to have the same team again. You have the luxury of basically running it back this year. Is there any sense of, I don't know, regret or something that you guys weren't able to kind of accomplish what you were able to accomplish last year, knowing that a lot of these guys are, or some of these guys might not be back?
I mean, we didn't have the same team this year we had last year. Obviously we had a lot of guys back, but we didn't have the same ones. And so every year it's a different team, and obviously it's disappointing. We just had a goal at the beginning of the year, and we fell short.
You're close to Jason. You said that on the team. I thought that the other day, like, what's have the conversations been like with them? What the past day, but them like Warren.
Yeah, honestly, it's tough. Guy that loves basketball as much as he does, and I don't know, probably it is the worst injury he's ever had, and so just try to encourage him, and I know he's starting a long journey, and he's going to do everything he can to get back out there and play.
Yeah, I guess to live through, to see how tough it is to repeat, to see how tough it is to go through the thing again. I mean, is that kind of just something you got to learn? And I mean, there have been no repeat champions since 2018. And just how much good health you have to have, how much kids, everything seems to have to go right. Is that just a tough thing to kind of endure and experience?
Yeah, obviously going back to back's tough, but winning a championship is hard. Every year, a lot of teams set out to do that, and next year is going to be the same difficult challenge of winning a championship. So, obviously we didn't go back to back, but it's hard to win in this league, and you just got to learn and grow.
Looking at these past few seasons, like, this team has done a lot of the kind of innovative stuff that set the direction for how the NBA is playing right now. And you've been a big part of that. And what are you proud of the way that your game and this team has evolved?
I just love playing with the guys that we have in that locker room. Just great group of guys that compete at a high level. Off the court, just have a lot of fun, and I think that's just what I'll probably be the most proud of, is just being able to say that I put on a Boston Celtics uniform with some amazing group of people, and I mean, you go down the list of every person that's been on the Celtics since I've been here. That's probably what I'm most proud of.
You guys reflect on the fact that changes that happen at Celtics that we're not necessarily have the same thing or that they're not right now.
I mean, I just gotta focus on what I need to focus on, which is obviously I got a lot of room for improvement. So I gotta get better. Obviously, they're gonna do their jobs, and my job right now is to get better.
Yeah, I mean, you, Jason, and you all played in the Olympics. When you kind of reflect on it, you're now 100-game season almost. I mean, is it just, are you more tired now than you were in your career with this fatigue any factor in some of the guys?
No.
Is there anything in particular that got out of playing this game or being kind of just moving on?
Well, it seemed like it went left pretty quick.
Thank you, Derrick.
More press conference coverage on the way.
Go, New York. Go, New York. Go.
Oh, they're having fun tonight in the Big Apple.
Lenny.
The Knicks are back in the Final Four. And speaking of forwards, Mikal Bridges, Karl Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson, and Josh Hart at the microphones.
Any of you or all four of you. Obviously, you guys are the first group to do something that no Knicks team has done in 25 years. I know you guys play to win championships, but could you feel how important a win like this was in this building to the people that have been here longer than you guys have and that ride?
Yeah, it was definitely felt the energy. The way they've been supporting us all year, it's been remarkable. So I'm just really happy that we were able to do that.
Not this year, not just next year.
Mm-hmm.
Big picture.
Big picture. Yes, sir. Get there.
Kat, you came out aggressive. How important was it to set the tone today, and how much of that was a concerted effort for you to come out and do that?
I mean, just we talked about the importance of this game, and my teammates trusted me in those positions to score, and I'm glad I was able to repay their trust with some buckets. So it's a really testament to my teammates, get me involved and allow me to be aggressive, and that's because of these guys up here that we got the win.
Jaylen, I know you guys as a whole somewhat were not pleased with the intensity levels and everything that happened in Game 5, and then tonight it just seemed like it was the exact opposite sort of energy from you guys. Where do you feel like that came from? Why do you feel like it was such an obvious swing?
Just the way the whole day of Game 5 just wasn't us. And we knew that. We reflected on it, and we came back. We knew that we needed to be ready, needed to be better. The way we prepared, the way we talked out there, the way we made it an emphasis to have each other's back and continue to cover for each other. It's focused on the defensive side of the ball. And when we're doing that, I mean, offense, we're flowing. And so we just got to focus on the little things, and we did that.
Fernie, I guess, Miguel, you're closest. So, you guys all had such, like college success. You won quickly. You went to the finals. Can you just imagine how long, what it must feel like for a fan base to go 25 years like this one has without making a conference final and seeing the scenes outside? I don't know if you have how much this must mean.
Yeah. I think Josh showed me a video walking here, guys climbing up light poles and stuff. So, yeah, it's crazy, man. But, great for them. Happy for them. Obviously I'm new here, but just know how much New York loves their sports, and especially the Knicks. So just so excited to be a part of it. And, they enjoy it for us right now. But obviously we got way more to go. But, happy for them.
I guess also for any of you, I know you talk about looking at the videos of what the fans are like outside, but it didn't look like a crazy celebration for you guys on the court today. Is that because this is a part of like a stepping stone, or?
Yeah, we just more to go. We're not done. That's what it is. And we came out there tonight and play hard, handle business. But like I said, our season's not over. We got so much more to go. And I think we play on Wednesday, so get ready, prepare for them. Whole different team, and just a whole new series.
Hey, Josh, just for you, I know you've talked a lot about you guys coming out with good energy, bad energy. And what was the difference from your perspective tonight?
I feel like we just watched the film, and I think we were kind of disgusted with our communication, our effort, our sense of urgency to start the game. So that's something that we knew we had to fix. We were able to get stops. We were able to communicate better in transition, and then get out there and play fast and have fun. And I think that was the biggest thing that we just focused on, was just our communication and defensive transition.
The series started, you guys were a pretty heavy underdog. Do you feel like this is an upset? And what is, I guess, to beat the defending champs, to send them home, what does this do confidence-wise for you guys moving forward?
Upset or not, whatever it is, we beat a great team. They obviously lost a huge piece, But regardless, the way they came out in Game 5, they knew that. I mean, they're still a great team, and so regardless of whatever anyone thinks, upset or not, I mean, we're just happy to come out the series with a win. Now we're moving on. We got to prepare for another team.
You guys have all said at one point or another through this playoff run that you guys didn't think that you played your best basketball yet in the playoffs. Just was today the best basketball that you guys feel like you've played in this entire playoff run? And if so, do you think that this is something that's replicable that you can take to the next series and repeat what you guys have been able to do tonight?
I mean, I feel like we played 48 minutes tonight, and just the way we competed and communicated out there, it's definitely one of our better performances. But I still feel like we have a long way to go. Just the confidence we have in each other and everything, and just knowing where we are, we're going to continue to be unsatisfied.
For Josh and Jaylen, you guys were here last year. Tough loss to Indiana in the second round, 7 games. I know you guys were pretty banged up in that series too, but just what do you think of that team going into meeting them a second year in a row?
Yeah, man, it's going to be a tough opponent. They push the pace. They run on makes, misses. And it's going to be a huge communication series for us. We're going to have to be locked in on every possession. We're going to have to get back defensively. We can build off this game. I feel like our defensive transition, our communication was great today, and that's something that we can carry into that series. But, different team, and we just got to make sure we're prepared.
Josh, you guys closed out the first quarter very strong, and that led into the second quarter. Can you talk about what was really the key for you guys to get that run? And then also, you had a turnover where you threw behind Mikel. Did Mitch come after you and say, "Why don't you throw him the lob"?
Nah, Mitch ain't say nothing. I knew Mitch can't jump off one foot, so I didn't want to put him in that position. It's not like young Mitch where he was like super athletic. This is a little older Mitch. For us, biggest thing we got to end quarters right, and I feel like that's something that we did, and we were able to pick it up in that second, get stops, run, and play Knick basketball. Everyone played well, everyone talked, everyone communicated, made plays offensively and defensively. So that's something that we preach all the time, is ending quarters strong, and hopefully Mitch finds a little more athleticism next time I got him.
A couple more. Kat, I'm curious if you, during this 6-game series, if you feel like you learned anything about the group that you guys have, maybe something you wanted to see from the group that maybe it confirmed, or something that presented itself that you didn't expect during the series.
I wouldn't say not expect, but when you're in these situations, especially in the playoffs, we talk about that, that New York grit, that unrelentless belief that we will never lose. And I think that this series, when you want to go deeper into the playoffs, you have to have that, and we showed it this series, and I think that was really special for us. In the last series, we showed, we're able to finish games in the fourth quarter, and even the close games will find a way to win. But this series was different because we had ourselves in deficits that were 20 plus, and we still found a way to win. And that's a testament to these guys. Never not believing that we're going to win a game, regardless of how the game is going, and regardless of the ebbs and flows of a playoff series or a game. This team has tremendous belief in each other, and we believe that anytime we step on the court, we have a chance to win.
This is for whoever. I know the job's not done, but the hurdle that at least we were talking about in the media from the beginning was, after consecutive years, getting the second round to get into the conference finals. So how much personal satisfaction is it from you guys, if at all, to get to that point and clear that hurdle?
We're not the media. We don't believe in what y'all believe in. We believe in each other. We know we could do something special. And as long as the belief in that locker room is that, we don't care what anyone outside that locker room says.
Last one.
Guys, since you're about the same age, I wonder who was the best at basketball when the Knicks last made the conference finals between you four.
I'm the oldest now. Josh is the oldest for sure.
Hey, Bet. Shout out, Bet. Hey, Bet.
What was the question? Sorry.
Who's the best at basketball between you four when the Knicks last made the conference finals?
I mean, I'm just.
We were like, who? How old are you, 29? Probably me. I was the oldest. I'm the tallest, bro. What you mean? Probably me. It had to be me. Nah, bro.
20 as a five.
We'll debate there to close it out. So for the sixth straight year, the reigning NBA champion is out. There will be no repeat champion. Once again, a lot of those cases, teams have bowed out in the second round. 5 of the 6 teams haven't made it past the conference semifinals.
Wow.
Jaylen Brown and the Celtics joined that list, and here's Jaylen after the end of his season.
It stings, as it should. Anytime, losing stings, especially finishing your season like this, it just wasn't our year. Say it again.
Why do you feel like it wasn't your year? And obviously, you went through a lot of this year as well. Did it just kind of feel that way for you personally?
It wasn't our year because we lost tonight. That's, battling through injury, we had some ups and downs, X, Y, and Z. I'm proud of our guys that came out and fought. Still have a lot to hang our head about. Just tonight, just unfortunate. It sucks. Nothing to talk about right now, but we'll see how the next steps, and you just kind of sit back and process and see what the next steps are.
Jaylen, you consistently use the offseason to come back a better player. Do you know what you want to work on this summer, or does that take time to refine and then go after it?
You take time, sit back and kind of figure it out. But, I'm excited. Things didn't go your way this year. Things didn't go our way this year. And it's unfortunate, but, we hold our head up regardless. Losing to the Knicks, feels like death. But, I was always taught that there's life after death. So we'll get ready for whatever's next in the journey. I'll be ready for.
Jaylen, 2 major unexpected events for you to end the season. Obviously, the season ending in the second round and Jason's injury. How did those 2 things maybe reshape what you thought your summer was going to be like and how you come back next?
Yeah, completely. Finishing in May feels weird. Definitely not something we were prepared for. Obviously, Jason, his injury, etc. I'm sure there's, a lot to process, just as everything, this whole year. But we'll meet. We'll take a couple of days. It's hard, like processing it all right now in real time. Throwing all these questions at me, but I'm happy that our group, stayed together. It was an honor to share the locker room with a lot of these guys. It hurt to see, the emotions of all the guys, being a leader and, not being able to carry everybody to the promised land. It sucks, but it just wasn't our year.
What would you do, or how Joe motivated you guys for this season?
I thought we had a great year. Joe prepared us as best he could. We had a great mindset. We had a great mentality. We had some unfortunate events. We had some, injuries and and things like that. No excuses, but, it just wasn't our year.
What was your perspective of everything that went into Kristaps playing, this kind of the journey he's been on to have that over?
For sure. KP's been a large part of our success, our recent success last year, even going into this year. In the playoffs, he wasn't feeling his best. But we appreciate him getting out there, and KP's he's a tough guy. He has a great mentality, a great approach about himself and his game and his body. It's a tough process for everybody, but KP, from an injury perspective, he was available all year long. He helped us all year long, and it's just unfortunate that it ended this way.
You're used to not winning the championship. That's the norm, right? So last year you guys do it, you don't have to deal with this feeling. What does it feel like now coming up short compared to before you experienced what it's like winning the championship? What feels different about not winning now that you actually know what it's like to win the championship?
It feels the same. It almost feels worse. We were trying to do something special, go back to back. We had a great group. We played well all year, so I think this probably stings even more. We just had some unfortunate events, some injuries. Personally, I had some stuff that I was persevering through, and it just, it caught up to us in the end.
You mentioned how it's an honor to play with these guys. What made this group in particular just such a joy to play with?
Just a bunch of great guys, a bunch of, great selfless guys about winning, that, put their bodies on the line, that came into work every day, that, just added to the group. Yeah, no situations, no headaches, no turmoil or anything like that. And, that's most important, that our group we had a bunch of great days together. We didn't win in the end.
Last question, Gary.
Jim, is this being kind of knocked back to the bottom of the mountain? Can that be served as motivation? Is this kind of it's a bad day or down, but is it also a motivating day? Can you point back to this, you and the franchise, and point back to this and go, this could be a positive in a sense?
Absolutely. I don't make no excuses. Obviously, it's tough the way we went out like tonight, but the way we finished the year, personally, where I finished the year, persevering through some physical stuff that I was battling through. I'm proud of our group. I thought that, we fought. We was in a lot of battles, and it's a lot to be excited for. This journey is not the end. It's not the end for me. I'm looking forward to coming back stronger. So you just take this with your chin up. I know Boston, it looks gloomy right now. Obviously with JT being out and us, kind of ending the year. But it's a lot to look forward for. It's a lot to look forward to. And I want the city to feel excited about that. Like this is not the end. So I'm looking forward to what's next.
Thank you, Jaylen.
Jaylen Brown with a summer before him now. Time for your assist of the night, presented by State Farm. A lot of fun was had at the Garden tonight. Jalen Brunson to Josh Hart. Slips that one past Luke Cornett, and one opportunity, part of a blowout off Broadway tonight in New York City.
The pocket pass, the finish, playing through the contact at home. Gotta love it.
And the New York Knickerbockers are back in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Unbelievable. I just hope Tibbs watched the tape. I know he's stuck in his ways, but understanding that Indiana comes with waves. So somehow, how can you believe in another person off this bench? Because what you've done this series is remarkable. Mm-hmm. But Shannon, if I'm a Knicks fan, and Matt, it's like, you got to figure out something. Because you're going into this Eastern Conference final with the Indiana Pacers playing top-notch basketball on both ends of the floor, yep. And Rick Carlisle knows how to pick you apart, and he'll find some weaknesses.
Yeah, I think for me, these are great. These are the two best teams.
Yes.
I think you look at completely how they've been built, been underdogs. They've had their struggles. You look at how Indiana went from the team that just likes to run and play basketball and shoot to all of a sudden, dang, y'all are bullies now?
Yeah.
Really just adding the right pieces, believing in their guys. And they have a truly unselfish leader in Tyrese Halliburton, right? And so for me, this matchup is crazy. So I think it's going to come down to 1, guard play.
Yes.
2, big man play, and then coaching. Right? I think those 3 things, and as we say all the time, how do you win a series? Your 2 best players got to win you a game. Your bench got to win you a game. Then your coaching got to win you a game. So in this series, no bench. You just, somebody got hurt and, you just put the belt on them. So for me, I think this is going to be a great series. These are great teams. They've done it through the draft. They've done it through getting people who are part of that culture. So I'm excited.
Second straight year they'll face off in a series, and it was Indiana beating New York in 7 in the conference semifinals last year. That series will start on Wednesday night in New York City. That'll do it for Playoff Central Live. For Channing and 3D, I'm Matt. We'll be back with more complete highlights and the opening night of the WNBA coming up.
Yes.